Hello, good afternoon everybody, and welcome to the CECA Southwest Young Achiever Awards 2020. I'm Paul Santer, Regional Director of CECA Southwest. CECA, by the way, is the Civil Engineering Contractors Association. Now, normally we would hand out these awards at our annual CECA Southwest luncheon here in Torquay at this very hotel, but unfortunately COVID got in the way of things this year and we couldn't make it happen. But we decided that it was a shame to deprive our young engineers, QSs and apprentices of their moment in the spotlight, so we decided to press ahead nonetheless. So here we are, live in Torquay. We're here. You can't be, but if you come with me now, come inside, spend the next hour with us and be part of a very special live event courtesy of CECA Southwest. Once again, welcome to the CECA Southwest Young Achievers Awards for 2020. I'm really glad you could join us on this live event today. You're all welcome. And let us have your feedback on Twitter as well. The details are on the screen as I speak. We'd like to know you're out there listening and watching us, and we want to know what you think. Now, some of you will be wondering about the safety guidelines today. Can I assure you that every effort has been taken to make sure we keep everyone safe, all the social distancing, all the hand sanitizing of hands and surfaces, the rule of 6 being observed, of course. We're doing everything we possibly can, so rest assured everyone is staying safe today. Let me first of all introduce you to our CECA Southwest Chairman, Dave Ellis. Dave, I'm really pleased to see you and so glad you could join us today. Special place this for you, isn't it? The Grand Hotel in Torquay, the home of your annual speech at our annual lunch.
Good afternoon, Paul. Yeah, obviously I've managed to dodge that this year, which has been great, but you asking me to do a third term means I've got it to look forward to next year. So
we look forward to that. Thanks, Dave. Dave will be making the presentations to our award winners this afternoon. Of course, none of this would be possible without our sponsor, BAM Nuttall. We're very, very grateful to BAM Nuttall for their sponsorship. Now, here's a few words from BAM's operations manager, Phil Bocock.
My name's Phil Bocock. I'm the operations manager for BAM Nuttall. BAM Nuttall is very proud to sponsor this year's CECA Southwest Young Achievers Awards. It's really important that the industry recognises and acknowledges the achievements of young people and how much they currently contribute and how much they're going to contribute in the future. So at the moment we've got about 150 apprentices across the whole business, and we employ about 30 graduates every year as well. It's fundamentally important to the BAM business and the industry as a whole if we want to continue to build new infrastructure and maintain the existing. People like me aren't getting any younger. The industry is very varied too. I've worked on highways schemes with earthworks and large structures, sea defence, air force bases, power stations, floating dock for nuclear submarines, and more latterly in the rail sector. It gives a real sense of satisfaction being involved in some great projects. But I think for me the most satisfying thing is to seeing young people develop and progress through the industry. And people can progress very quickly if they want to. I've spoken to young people on our site down at Dawlish, and they get a real buzz out of building the scheme, and also knowing that it will make a real difference to the local community for the next 120 years and beyond. Even in the current climate, there's still a large demand for people, and customers are still going ahead with the large schemes. So the demand is bigger than it's ever been for young people, and now's a really great time to join the industry. I'd just like to congratulate all the winners today, and wish them good luck in their future careers.
Thank you, Phil. I'm just curious why he had to record that under the stairs, but anyway, not to worry, Phil. We're really grateful for your sponsorship. We've got 5 prizes to award this afternoon, 2 student placement awards, and most promising awards for an apprentice, a quantity surveyor, and a civil engineer. Now, all 5 categories were very hotly contested, with entries generating a lot of debate and discussion amongst the judges before a final unanimous decision was reached. A big thank you to all CECA members who nominated candidates in the first place, and to Bath and Plymouth universities for their hard work in shortlisting candidates for the Student Placement Prizes. Thanks too to the finalists who've really excelled in spite of the additional challenges posed this year by the pandemic. Right, let's start with our first award, the University of Plymouth Industrial Placement Award. This prize is given to the student who most impressed the judges in his or her year out on site, having previously completed the first 2 years of his or her degree in civil engineering. The prize, by the way, is an engraved glass trophy and a cheque for £500. Plymouth University always produces candidates of a very high standard who can demonstrate those highly practical skills so important on site when the challenges come thick and fast on a daily basis. Before I say any more, let's hear what the winner's placement company, Jackson's, had to say about this student engineer, followed by his university professor, John Miles.
My name's Paul Watson. I work for Jackson Civil Engineering. I'm their highways director. With Matthew, it was good to see. Actually, he did start off, and he was a fairly quiet individual, quite reserved in himself. And over the period, the most noticeable thing from my perspective was the way that he quietly gained confidence, got closer to the rest of the team out on highways, and grew in confidence and became, I'd suggest, quite quietly confident in his own ability, and got involved in anything and everything that was going on, and was always keen to learn and absorb what he could from everybody. He was fortunate, I think he was fortunate, that he has an awful lot of different types of projects we do in and around the M25 predominantly, and he got involved and was assisting and carrying out some setting out activities on a geotech scheme we had on a bank slip on the side of the motorway with some piling. He also got involved in a multi-element joint replacement, which was done over a very short working window over a long weekend. I think for Matthew, he's clearly determined, bright young person, and really, I'd love to think that he will come back and join us in the fullness of time, and we're keen to support him whilst he finishes studying for maybe future on. But really, would say with the determination and the obvious capability and confidence that he's growing, I think anywhere within this industry he could find himself a home and be very successful. No, really well done, Matthew. I'm really pleased. He worked really hard with us, so well deserved, and good luck in the future. Hopefully it's with us, and enjoy your evening.
Well, the CECA Southwest are really very supportive of our students, and CECA contribute to our Industrial Advisory Committee, which helps to advise on the material in our programmes. CECA help to set up links for our placement students with the civil engineering contractors. And CECA very kindly visit our students during the year. They come and see the students' work at our showcase event, and they take part in project interviews where they're looking at the students' work in their projects. Well, students get to see the industry firsthand in their placement year, which is very, very valuable. They get to see how things work on site, and they get to develop their team working skills. They get to develop their safety awareness, as well as their applied and specific use of things like AutoCAD and their surveying techniques. The other thing is they develop a really strong work ethic as part of their placement year. And they gain a sense of responsibility, and they then work very hard when they come back to work in their final year at the university. Well, Matthew's worked very hard in his placement with Jackson, and he impressed us in a number of areas. He took responsibility working as a site engineer, and he carried out tasks such as surveying and setting out. He had to overcome numbers of problems, for example, putting piling into a counterfort draining gravel, and overcome that. He had to work in confined spaces and in difficult circumstances. And in one example, he took social responsibility for removing a large chunk of concrete that was potentially going to fall onto a footway. So he's shown really good enthusiasm during his placement and has really worked very hard. And I think he's been an excellent student on placement. I'd like to congratulate Matthew on achieving this award. It's an absolutely fantastic award, and Matthew's obviously worked extremely hard during his placement, taken a lot of responsibility, worked as a site engineer, and impressed the people he's worked for, and also the Civil Engineering Contractors Association with the work he's done. He wrote a really good report of the project, of his time in industry, and so we wish him all of the best for the future, and congratulations on achieving this award.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year's University of Plymouth Industrial Placement Award goes to Matthew Leese. Well done, Matthew.
Thank you.
Really good to have you here today. Now, let me just first of all tell you what the judges had to say about you, okay? You heard there from John Miles. Matthew had a really tough year as a site engineer on the Connect Plus framework with Jackson's in and around the M25. He worked in the renewals section of the company's highways division, often involving a few nights' work on bearing replacements or short duration contracts up to a few months at a time. He demonstrated a really good knowledge of all the different types of work he was involved in, be it highway maintenance, bridge bearing replacement, piling works, concrete repairs, you name it. Matthew also showed a genuine interest in low or zero carbon alternatives to traditional construction methods. He displayed first-class surveying and setting out skills and an aptitude for problem-solving on site, one, for example, where noise to residents at night was a particular issue. Several 10-metre piles could not be driven to the required length using a silent hydraulic piler, owing to gravels being encountered in the ground. Now, this young man liaised with designers to determine whether the piles in question could remain in situ or should be re-driven using a conventional piling hammer. On another job, Matthew employed his recently acquired piling knowledge at design stage to mitigate potentially costly issues involving pile driving on a steep gradient, thereby saving a lot of pain further down the line. What impressed the judges most was the fact that working in a largely hostile environment under strict time pressures and at very unsociable hours, this didn't put our winner off at all. In fact, he thrived on it and flourished as a site engineer in his year out with Jackson's. So really, very, very well done, Matthew. Really pleased for you.
Very well done, Matthew. Clearly had a great work placement with Jackson's, learnt a lot. Most of your work centred around bridge bearings. Is that something you see yourself going into in the future? Or
potentially, yeah. For now, I want to keep on getting a broad range of experiences within the civil engineering field, maybe even do some coastal work as well. But yeah, for now, I want to keep getting a range of experiences and keep on moving forward.
Good, well done.
I think really, what impressed the judges most was your first experience on site and in such a hostile environment, as I say, scrambling around under bridges, over the M25, etc. That's pretty tough. But it didn't put you off at all. You want some more, clearly.
Yeah.
Good,
definitely.
Really good. Well, please, Matthew, take your award, collect your award, and once again, very many congratulations.
Well done.
Okay, well done, Matthew. Our next award is the University of Bath Industrial Placement Award. Now, this is a similar award to Matthew's, but for a student from Bath University instead, of course. Again, candidates of a very high calibre were shortlisted, but the winner of this award stood out amongst his contemporaries. This young man spent 14 months on site with Suttles in Poole, with barely enough time for a holiday at the end of it all. Suttles have a knack of developing young undergraduates in their year out and turning them into fully rounded and highly competent engineers with skills in site management way above what would normally be expected. I'm very pleased to announce that the winner of this year's Bath University Industrial Placement Award goes to Michael O'Hagan. Now, Michael really impressed the judges by the breadth of his experience during his year with Suttles. He started in the commercial department, getting to know the cost of things. That's always a good sign, before moving on to design and operational roles. He had some good grounding in AutoCAD design, enabling him to see his retaining wall and pontoon designs realised and delivered on the ground. He progressed through a variety of site-based projects, his competence and responsibilities growing with him. These included installing a king post wall on a failing railway embankment at Virginia Water, maintenance and refurbishment of a Napoleonic fort in Portsmouth, new fish passes on the River Aire, and further railway embankment stabilisation works at Langport and Wanborough near Swindon. Michael's skills included writing environmental and waste management plans, stakeholder engagement, and extensive site engineering duties, including setting out and survey work and overcoming problems with inaccurate topographical survey data. He completely won the judges over at the end of his extremely detailed and well-written report by declaring that he's now convinced that his future career lies with a contractor. Now, sadly, because of COVID travel restrictions, his university advised against Michael travelling to Torquay today. All the best awards have somebody, at least one person that doesn't turn up. Michael's the person today. However, we did catch up with Michael earlier in the week, along with Joe Payne, Managing Director of Suttles, and firstly, Gavin Knowles from Bath University.
Hi, my name's Gavin Knowles. I'm a lecturer at the University of Bath here. Michael's achievements to actually win this award have been a credit to him, really. I mean, he's a top performing student of us here at Bath, so it was great to read his insight to his year out with Suttles. Really, the things that kind of stood out for me for him is his kind of approach, his can-do approach, which is really valuable within a work environment. That can-do approach kind of comes into his work here at the university and his studies, and he's taken that out into industry. There's all these extra things that he managed to do while he was out there, which really impressed the kind of board who reviewed the reports. Things like the temporary works advisor role that he took on and studied for, which is great to see, and it's that kind of achievement of going above and beyond which we sort of really value within our students, and it's great for it to be awarded with this award as well for Michael. So well done, Michael.
My name's Joe Payne. I'm Subtle Projects Managing Director and Founder. Subtle Projects is a SME and quite a recent entrant to the market in terms of only having been in this sector for about a decade, and we see the development of our own staff with our own kind of company ethos and way of doing business as being crucial to our development over the next decade, and getting in with the ground floor of the development of bright young staff like Mike O'Hagan just very much seems to be the way forward for us. We hope that the way that we can give someone like Mike support is very much a USP for a company like us. So because we're relatively small at the moment, we only employ around 75 people, someone like Mike can come in and be given coaching and attention from people very much at the top of the companies. So Mike arrived as quite a quiet, not introvert, but a reserved member of the team, and that was probably because he's a very intelligent lad and he had the good sense to immediately spot that he didn't have a lot of practical experience or knowledge about the world that he was entering, and it was great fun to see him rapidly acquire that knowledge and become an increasingly more vocal and confident member of the team as the year went on. I think for our part we would say that if Mike's future career choice is as a civil engineering contractor, the signs are only that he could be very successful in that career. Mike, it was absolutely fantastic to have you with Suttles for the year. We really enjoyed spending time and interacting with you, Hopefully you felt the same, and there'll always be a kettle ready to switch on at Suttles at any time that you want to drop in or come back and spend some more time with us in the future.
So my name is Michael O'Hagan. I'm originally from West Dorset, and I'm in my fourth year of studying civil engineering at the University of Bath. I feel really proud to have won the award. I feel like it's nice recognition for a lot of hard work, not only by myself but by everyone at Suttles Projects over the course of the last year. And their hard work has allowed me to have a lot of exciting opportunities on some really big and interesting projects over the course of the year. So it was a coursework project I did in physics, where I became interested in civil engineering. This project focused on the feasibility of being able to build a bridge to span the Irish Sea between Northern Ireland and Scotland. And since then I just became more interested in the built environment and how structures work. I'd say the main thing I kind of took away from my placement was a far more practical understanding of the civil engineering and construction industry, kind of beyond just the purely theoretical side that you tend to learn at university. Also working across a range of departments within Suttles Projects. I was working in the commercial department where I was focused on kind of quantity surveying and client and contract management roles, moving into the operations team where I was looking at RAMs and doing risk assessments and other health and safety paperwork involved with the day-to-day running of sites, and then the technical team where I was working on as a setting out engineer as well as working on temporary works designs. And I'd say I also feel far more confident now applying design codes of practice and in particular Eurocode design, which should hopefully see me well for my final 2 years at university during my time at Suttles. There's a lot of people to mention that supported me throughout my time, but in particular probably Alistair Maidman, John Harley and Ricardo Late always supported me with my roles and helped me with any queries that I had.
Well done, Michael. I look forward to meeting you personally when I deliver your trophy and your cheque to Bath University very soon. So I look forward to meeting you then. Well done. Moving on, our next award is for the most promising apprentice. Now, this award is for any apprentice of any age following an intermediate, advanced, higher or specialist apprenticeship programme, working in our sector but not necessarily construction related. For example, we had a very worthy nomination from a fabrication welder this year, amongst others. The prize here again is an engraved glass trophy and a cheque for £500. But I tell you what, let's hear first from Dale Roberts of Bridge Civil Engineering, who nominated this year's winner.
Dale Roberts, I'm a director at Bridge Civil Engineering. Well, Sam joined us about 3 years ago now, September 2017, as a trainee apprentice engineer, and in those 3 years he's moved from helping out to being an established engineer in the company. When Sam first joined us, he went onto a highway scheme, and it's a job we were doing just outside of Exeter on the new cycleway. And obviously at the beginning of his career he had very little experience and was generally helping, following as a chain boy. But very soon on that job, what with one thing and another, the senior engineer on the job had to move on, and Sam quickly took up the reins there. Within 6 to 9 months of being on site, he was pretty responsible for quite a bit of setting out. So Sam's apprenticeship journey so far has been that he started at a 2-year level 1, level 3 advanced apprenticeship in civil engineering in September 2017. He completed that very well in a 2-year period with merits and distinctions, and now he's on another 2-year course, which is an advanced level, level 4 in the Diploma in Construction and Building Services. Well, we nominated Sam for the CECA award because he was committed at work, was very conscientious, and he developed very quickly for a young man. Bearing in mind he joined us from school at 16
and rapidly he became an essential part of the team. Good luck, Sam. You've done well. We put you forward because we thought you were a good guy and you've got a great deal of experience and you're an essential part of the Bridge Civil Engineering team.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to confirm that this year's CECA Southwest Most Promising Apprentice is Sam Beer. Welcome, Sam. What about that then? Dale Roberts thinks you're a good guy.
Yeah, it means a lot, yeah.
Sam, let me first of all just tell you what the judges had to say about you, if I may. They said, Sam completed his Level 3 apprenticeship and NVQ in construction and the built environment with a double merit last year, and this has enabled him to progress onto a Level 4 HNC in civil engineering, which he's currently undertaking at Exeter College and which he'll complete in 2021. After that, Sam has set his sights on university, either on a block release or a day release basis. This is one driven young man, the judges said. At the tender age of just 16, as Dale already mentioned, just 6 months into his civil engineering career, Sam took on the main site engineering role for a £1.3 million cycleway contract at Pinhoe in Exeter, which he saw through with great success and plaudits from the client, Devon County Council. Since then, as an engineering technician, he's gone on to work on schemes for South West Water and Western Power, learning about all aspects of running a project: estimating, takeoff, site management, valuation, and final account. This is the bit that the judges really liked. They said, being the youngest in the company, Sam is always willing to introduce new technologies to the more mature members of the site team, helping to improve site activities by making them safer and more accurate. Sam has also mentored work experience students and presented to Year 10 pupils about how great it is to be a civil engineering contractor. He's an impressive young man who fully deserves this award. Well done, Sam.
Thank you.
Well done, Sam. Congratulations. Obviously, my day job, Managing Director of Bridge Civil Engineering. What do you think of your boss?
Yeah, it's really good. It's really comfortable joining.
No, I was going to ask you, obviously you've mentioned to me separately about your plans next year for university.
Yep.
And obviously COVID, we don't think that's going to be going anywhere soon, particularly next sort of June, heading that way. How's that changed your plans? What are you thinking now?
So even before COVID started, there's so many different factors and opportunities of where I could go. But COVID's just added a lot more into the mix. So I was looking at university full-time for 3 years. Now I've sort of swaying towards block release alongside you. So yeah.
Maintains the social side.
Yeah,
that's what you're after.
Yeah.
I love the bit about teaching the more mature members new technologies. That's coming in handy with quite a lot of your colleagues, I suspect.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is really well done, Sam. Please take your award and many congratulations.
Well done.
Well done.
Cheers.
Well done. Okay, our penultimate award is for the most promising trainee quantity surveyor. This award is for any trainee QS who has entered the industry within the last 4 years and is being supported by his or her employer whilst working towards a recognised quantity surveying qualification. I'll tell you what, let's listen initially to what James Bloomfield of Midas Construction had to say about this year's winner.
Hello, I'm James Bloomfield and I'm a senior quantity surveyor at Midas Construction. So Aiden's journey with Midas has been, he came in as on a year out with from university, spent a year with us. When he joined me on the job we're on now at the Park and Lighthouse Hotels, he took a lead role in the development and construction of a sample room, and he has really grasped hold of that in terms of both the QS side of it and almost project management. He's been making sure that orders are placed, he's been making sure that we are ready for things to come and be delivered. He's making sure the guys are there all the time. So I think not only the development in his QS abilities to run that commercially, but his confidence and his know-how of getting that constructed and actually seeing it built. And that's all a very good experience for him in terms of his learning and development as a QS. I think the future is what Aiden makes it, really. If he is motivated and willing to put the time in to get where he wants to get, he can get wherever he likes. The world is his oyster in a way, because he is a talented QS, and he's got his confidence and his knowledge is untold, so he can make of it what he wishes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the CECA Southwest Most Promising Trainee Quantity Surveyor Award this year goes to Aiden Shipp. Aiden, many congratulations. Really well done. Before we have a chat with you, just let me tell you what, the judges were very complimentary actually about your nomination. Just let me share a few thoughts with you. They particularly liked the fact that you ended up as an employee of Midas as a result of an early work experience placement in the firm. And after completing your HNC, you went straight on to study a BSc Honours degree in quantity surveying and commercial management, and during your placement year returned to Midas to support the team in delivering the new helipad at the RD&E Hospital in Exeter, handling subcontract inquiries, order placements and payments. You've demonstrated really good collaborative skills in bringing people together on site with building strong customer relationships with the client and suppliers. And you stepped up when, this is important, you stepped up when a senior QS left Midas to emigrate to Australia and took over the commercial management of the project to its successful completion. That's pretty impressive. You've successfully combined your fourth year studies on a day release basis with a 4-day working week at Midas, and you've quickly and successfully grasped the key aspects of the NEC 4 conditions of contract and implemented them with great confidence and maturity. In summary, Aiden, the judges saw you as a very worthy winner of this award, so really very well done. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Very well done, Aiden.
Thank you.
Congratulations on winning the award. Obviously, you've had great experience with Midas and with your QS career so far. They've clearly put in on the report about your decisiveness, confidence, and handle pressure very, very well. Was this something you get from your family, or did they help you in your decision with the career in civil engineering?
Oh, definitely. They'd push me to do my best in whatever I wanted, and I was very set on a construction career, and they supported me throughout. I think that helped on site for sure, and gaining more experience, having the confidence to ask the questions I needed to get hopefully where I want to be.
Well done.
Thank you.
That's really good. So construction is something that was on your mind as a career option at a very young age, yeah?
Oh, definitely. I tried to tailor my studies to be a quantity surveyor.
Okay.
So it's been quite successful so far.
Well done, well done. And this business about stepping up when your senior QS went off to Australia, how did you feel at that moment? Did you see that as a big opportunity?
Definitely, and I think on the project at the time, it was time to try and make my mark on it.
Yeah.
And get myself more known and step up and help Midas where they need it. So it was a good opportunity.
Well, the result of all that is this engraved trophy. So please take it. It's yours, along with a cheque for £500. And really, really well done. We're delighted for you.
Cheers.
Well done. Thanks, Aiden. Our final award this afternoon is for the most promising trainee civil engineer. Now, this award was open to any engineer, excluding apprentices, who is being supported by his or her employer whilst working towards a recognised civil engineering qualification. Phil Ramsden, Regional Manager of Durham Butler, had this to say about our winner.
My name's Phil Ramsden. I'm Regional Manager for Durham Butler. Peter joined the company in 2015 on a one-year industrial placement from Plymouth University, and he now holds a position of site agent. Peter graduated in 2018 with a first-class honours degree, and he's now progressed from graduate engineer through to sub-agent and site agent, which in the space of 2 years is a fantastic achievement. As a student, Peter was shy and timid, and he's now giving instructions to subcontractors and carrying out briefings to large workforces. He's the site agent for a bridge scheme in Tiverton over the M5 for Highways England, and he is responsible for that site. Peter has attended and represented Darren Butler at monthly progress meetings with clients, most notably our public realm scheme in Brighton, which was a £10 million project to carry out improvements to the public spaces. And on that scheme, he has worked very closely with the client and coordinated the site teams, and also has carried out meetings and had sometimes difficult conversations with members of the public about how the works are impacting on the nearby businesses. And Peter's worked through those solutions to find an amicable solution for all parties. We nominated Peter for the CECA award because he's the perfect role model for young and aspiring engineers. He's got a very committed and mature approach to everything that he does. I've no doubt that Peter will continue to progress his career with Darren Butler and become a chartered engineer. He's got all of the makings of a great senior manager. On behalf of Darren Butler, I'd like to congratulate Peter on this fantastic achievement. Please keep up the good work. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thanks, Phil. I'm delighted to confirm that the CECA Southwest Award for Most Promising Trainee Civil Engineer goes to Peter Bowden. Well done, Peter.
Thank you very much.
Really well done. Peter, this was probably the most difficult choice for the judges to make because of the very high standard of entries. The judges commended Greg Crow from Bridge Civil Engineering, who incidentally receives a cheque for £250. And there were other entries from Turcon, Knights Brown and Griffiths, who were all in serious contention. But in the end, Peter, you were decided as the winner, so really well done.
Thank you.
Now, just to recap, since graduating from Plymouth University with a first-class honours degree in civil and coastal engineering in 2018, the judges recognised that your rise through the ranks of dear Darren Butler has been meteoric. I do beg your pardon. Meteoric. From site engineer to site agent in just 2 years is remarkable and something others will take a decade to achieve. Your promotion to site agent was whilst you were working on a public realm scheme in the centre of Brighton. I think Phil referred to that, the kind of job really a lot of contractors would run a mile from. On this scheme, you managed all the meticulous planning and at its height, a workforce of 50 operatives. Working very long days, you worked tirelessly, coordinating all site activities, including permits to dig and, of course, the mammoth task of stakeholder management. You coped well with multiple redesigns of drainage works due to service clashes, dispensing your duties as the temporary works supervisor for deep excavation work and thinking on your feet at all times, but especially whilst supervising surfacing works on night shifts. Your ability to take charge of the situation, think things through, and make those difficult calls under pressure when men and plant are waiting on your decision shows great inner confidence and character, essential qualities for a civil engineering project manager. As Phil Ramsden commented on your nomination form, and I quote, "For someone so early in his career, Peter is operating at a level which surpasses expectations. He is committed to becoming a chartered engineer, which no doubt he will achieve in the very near future." Very well done, Peter. Really well done.
Well done, Peter. Congratulations on the award. It's one thing concentrating on your career in civil engineering, but being put on in Brighton on a large public realm scheme, dealing with the public is a whole different ball game. How did you find that?
Quite difficult. There's a lot of, everyone's got different opinions on the works and they all want things for themselves. So between managing their expectations and our works at the same time, it's important that we progress our works whilst not upsetting too many people. So there's a lot of stopping and starting and trying to clear the way and just keeping in communication with the stakeholders is the important thing, making sure they are aware of what we're doing so that it's not a surprise when we rock up outside with an excavator.
Oh, well done.
Communication's everything, isn't it, in that situation?
Exactly, yeah.
Now, Peter, there's one other thing that we need to share, is that you were a previous CECA award winner, I think in 2016 as a Student Placement Prize winner?
That's right, yeah, I won the placement award for Plymouth University.
And you were with Darren Butler then?
Yeah, I did my placement with them, yeah.
Yeah, so you're used to all this glitz and celebration and all these accolades, yeah?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, taking it in your stride.
Yeah.
Well, Peter, I have to say congratulations. The judges thought that your entry was absolutely superb. Please take your award, and the cheque will be with you shortly as well. Very, very well done.
Thank you very much.
Very well done. Okay. All that remains now is for me to once again congratulate all our worthy winners and thank you, our virtual audience, for taking the time to tune in this afternoon and help CECA celebrate this extraordinary talent of young people working in our industry. If you're a young person who's wondering what kind of a career path to follow, think about civil engineering. If you like working in a team, if you like every working day to be different, throwing up new challenges and opportunities, and if you like the idea of improving people's lives all over the world, then civil engineering is probably for you. And who knows, you could be receiving an award from CECA in a few years' time, just like Matthew, Michael, Sam, Aiden and Peter have today. In a few days' time, there'll be a video available to CECA members and on the CECA website, including interviews with all the winners and photos of the whole event, so do look out for that. And of course, I just want to mention that Twitter feed again. Please let us know your thoughts about what you've seen this afternoon. We'd love to get that feedback and know you're out there enjoying this special occasion. So finally, from Dave Ellis, thank you, Dave, and myself, it's thank you again and goodbye from all of us here at the Grand in Torquay.